Hey guys, this is Mike on Wednesday evening now at WISP America 2017, and we've got Chuck McCown of McCown Technology, formerly with Beehive Manufacturing, and I think he's one of the more underrepresented vendors here. So I've nailed him down to kind of tell us a little bit about himself.
Well, thanks, Mike. Mike wants me to tell you why I'm so awesome. I don't know. We kind of started out, we had a WISP, and we were using Motorola canopy, and we wanted more distance out of it. Well, the first thing is, the canopy reflector dish was very expensive, and I'm like, oh, I can make those. And so we made reflectors, and then I started dinking around with this idea here, the Stinger, and that was really what took off for us. Created the Stinger to just slip on to give you 12 dB more signal, and triple the range of your radio, and man, we've made hundreds of thousands of these things. And then that kind of morphed into surge suppressors. I had a guy that used the Motorola 300 surge suppressor in Florida, and he sent me a whole bag of them, and they were all blown up, and he says, my radios are dying, why isn't this working? And so I kind of did an autopsy on the Motorola design. The design was actually okay, it was a manufacturing flaw, and we did our own trade show called Animal Farm back in those days, and at that year at the Animal Farm, I did a whole presentation on surge suppressor design and why Motorola didn't work, and I'm sure they weren't very happy about that. And then I had designed one that actually corrected all those flaws, and so we started selling surge suppressors, and then people wanted different kinds of surge suppressors, and PoE and gigabit and DC, and so we've just morphed into a whole line of surge suppressors. All of our surge suppressors are available in the outdoor mount, as well as the APC form factor, and that's just the same story over again. APC form factor came about because a guy had lightning wipe his knockout. He had a whole bunch of APC PNet 6TR surge suppressors in there, and he sent me the surge suppressor and said, why didn't this do its job? Again, I did a kind of a post-mortem of the thing, and the surge suppressor actually in those days was designed kind of okay, but they left out one of the most critical components. If they just put all the parts on the board that they designed it with, it would have worked just fine. So I did a whole line of surge suppressors that all fit into this form factor, and we just keep adding to it. We've got this one's Gigi that'll take any kind of PoE you want to apply, any polarity. We've got PoE insertion devices. It's a surge suppressor that also allows you to insert or remove PoE on any Cat6 that you want. You don't have to use it with a PoE device. You can use it to just convey power from one building to another. We've got for your DC power line surge suppressors, and we've still got all of our antennas. But at some point, we started making this tower mount here, so you can hang this reflector on a Roan tower. And we started doing the tower mount, and then people wanted longer tower mounts and triple tower mounts. And so now tower mounts are one of our biggest segments of our product line. We do an enormous number of different things for angle iron towers, for big towers, little towers, 5-inch leg towers, 1-inch leg towers. So it's like everything else in our catalog. Somebody said, hey, we need something that's kind of like this, but it'll do this, and I'll create it, and it becomes a new product. So that's kind of what we do. My wife runs the show for the most part. I do the engineering, and she made the first 10,000 Stingers or so right in our garage. So she's as much of this or more than I am. That's it. I'm just grateful for all the customers that buy our stuff. I love to do custom stuff. Never turn down an idea. And I'm grateful that WISP America has kind of decided to adopt my Animal Farm trade show and blend the two together, and so it keeps my users group still going, and Cambium still sends out engineers to talk to the customers, and it's really good. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm about.
Yeah, I've enjoyed I wasn't on the users group for a very long time because I didn't have canopy, so I was like, but why do I need that?
Yep.
Like that's all canopy guys. Why don't?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're like, no, like it wasn't just canopy like 4 years ago. Now you guys do all kinds of stuff at the shows.
You know, originally it was canopy, but you know, when Ubiquity
sure.
came along, then at some point Ubiquity said, hey, can we come and be part of the Animal Farm show that we used to, it was a trade show we did in Salt Lake City. We ran about 10 years, and so Ubiquity joined, and then so it kind of became a Motorola Ubiquity show. And then over the years we just, you know, then Trango and Mimosa and all of the other guys came along, and SAF, and it's grown so that, but the main thing about Animal Farm is we say it's all meat and no potatoes, because we don't want any sales pitches. We want engineers telling about the technical aspects of the product and answering questions from the users and the customers.
Yeah, and then that does carry through to the mailing list, where you and Forrest will have these huge just knowledge dumps, and half people probably have no idea what you're talking about.
That's what the delete key is for.
But the other half that just soaks it in, and it's just great knowledge.
Forrest and I, it goes all the way back. Forrest, the first show I was at with the Stinger was Charles Wu's show up in Park City, Utah. And Forrest was there with his original sink pipe, I think it was. And I said, hey, come and put it on my table, on my booth. And so he started selling his product right alongside mine at my booth. And then when we did Animal Farm, it was me, it was Forrest, and then Last Mile Gear brought their Cyclone. And so the three of us are really the founding Animal Farm guys, and it just kind of took off from there. But I like this format a whole lot better. I like WISPA folks doing all the hard work for me. So.
That's outsourcing the work,
yep.
and just sitting back and enjoying it.
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Chuck. I'm sure everyone will love the video.
Thanks, Mike.